Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe, Beck, and Cooper, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for September 21st, 2025. So it's a little dark here, sorry with the lighting. It's a rainy Oregon day. It's the only rainy day we're having all week, and yet here I go to film and it's raining. Anyway, so this was a good reading week with how much I got done, but maybe not hits or anything. Like, I think they were all pretty okay. Like there were a couple of 4s, but mostly it wasn't as best as it could have been. But I got through a lot. Everything was series because I'm still participating in Series September and the Readathon Rebellion. So I did quite a bit of stuff for those. And again, I love reading series. Most of my books are series books, so it kind of made sense. So anyway, we're going to go through what I read, what I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. Not so much on what I'm going to read in the next week, because I really don't know. My mood is swinging wildly, and I'm also like prepping for Victober and October and all these books I want to read. My TBR is going to have to be split into 2 videos that you'll see this week. One will be on Tuesday and the next will be on Thursday. And they are both kind of crazy, outrageous. There's no way I'll read all the books, but they're mostly pile of possibilities. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's go back to what I read in the last week. So I did DNF one book. And this worries me because I think I have 4 other books that are kind of like in the same vein as this one that I might have to do a chapter or just take some time and just read some of them and make a decision. But I'm finding there's like this certain point. So I did try First Down by Grace Riley. This is the first book in, I don't remember the name of the series. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's Beyond the Play. That was it. So I only made it 30 pages before I DNF'd this book. It's not the book's fault. It really is not. I think I feel the same way I feel about a lot of books that have young adults as their main characters, as I still feel they are too young for me now. I think I've just reached the age where there has to be certain plots where the age isn't the problem for me. A sports romance, I think, is a problem for me because it's college, and I remember college. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I remember how confusing that time was, and the things you did, and kind of selfishness and stuff. And again, it's only 30 pages. It's not like the book. Cat! Oh my gosh, my cat is going after everything. Goober. It's again not the book's fault. It wasn't like it did anything bad or anything, but unfortunately in the 30 pages I knew what certain plot points were probably going to happen just because these are 21-year-olds, and I was just not in it. I just didn't care. And so I think this is a football, and I think she is going to tutor him, but she asked him to fake date her, so because she has an ex-boyfriend who is not wanting to believe that they're over, kind of thing. And I didn't like him, which you're not supposed to, but you know what I mean? Like, I read it and I was already rolling my eyes 30 pages in. Again, I don't think it's the book's fault. I think a lot of people like this series for what it is. I just don't get along with, this is not the romance I want. I like sports romances, but I think they have to be older. So I'm going to look at the 3 or 4 books I have that are college ones, because that's what I have. And I'm going to look at those and make some decisions if they're just not for me. And I might just get rid of all of them and then only buy stuff that is considered pro, or people who are in their 20s or later. I think those are much more my speed, maturity and stuff. Again, it's not the characters. There was nothing wrong with these 2 characters. There was nothing wrong with the writing. There was nothing wrong with the audiobook. I did listen to part of it. It was a duet one with, or dual POV with Kyle Adams and Olusadie. And really, it wasn't the problem either. It really wasn't this book's fault. This is not so I'm not saying anything bad about this. It's not for me. So I'm going to be getting rid of that book. It's just, and then I'm going to probably one day, hopefully soon, I will take some time and read, because I know I have The Deal by Elle Kennedy, I have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and I have Collide by Bal Cabra. I think those three. I might have one more. I'll have to look around. But again, I've heard so many good things about those series, but they're all college age, and we'll have to see. I mean, technically, I could Deep End by Ali Hazelwood is another one. So I'm gonna have to check to see how I feel about. We'll see. We'll see. If you, again, I'm gonna, as I said, it's a learning curve. Again, as I said, coming back to romance after all these years, contemporary romance, I'm still finding what I like and what I don't like. And I'm just not sure college sports romance is for me. Anyway, so let's talk about the books I did finish. I did finish my library book, which was Witch by Simon R. Green. This is the third book in the Holy Terror series. So again, this one is only 198 pages. It's really short and sweet. I like the Holy Terrors because but it's not my favorite of his series. Again, the Nightside series or the Ghost Finders are my two favorite series by him. They're much more paranormal, urban fantasy, very, very much so that. This is kind of on the line of, is this paranormal? Is this not? And there's always like a feel of it that you're not quite sure. And it could go either way, but there's also a Scooby-Doo element to this. And these are just fun. So these are light reads. They're not like my best. This one actually stumped me. I did not catch the ending. I guessed one thing, but I guessed it wrong. Like I guessed it the wrong way. Like I thought of something and I thought, oh, it's going to be that. And then something happens and I'm like, well, no, it can't work. And it didn't. And it was something else. So he caught me on this one. I did not guess the end. So we're following, the bishop, Alistair oh, what is her name? My brain just stopped. Diana, and she is an actress, and she is doing the play Macbeth, and they're at this kind of low-end theater before they move to the West End, I guess I think is that the way in London how it goes? Anyway, they're preparing for it, and she is she's playing Lady Macbeth, and there are some strange occurrences happening during rehearsals, and so she calls him in because this is the third in the Holy Terrors mystery where they have had two other cases together. And so he gets called in, and it really is a murder, it's not really a murder mystery in the same way as somebody has died in the beginning. Things happen that have consequences later, but not in the beginning. Mostly this is just trying to figure out if somebody is sabotaging the play or if there is a ghostly paranormal element. And I liked, again, the way that it straddled that line all the way through the book. I did not guess who was in the end. Like the last book I completely guessed, and the first book I think I had a good inkling, but I didn't get it all. I think this one didn't get it, and it could have just been the day I read it that I didn't no, I don't know. I thought it was really well done. Looking back I could kind of see stuff, so it's, again, I went the wrong way on a certain decision. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. If you like stuff that's like murder or not, again, it's mysteries, like, but has this kind of, is it just normal, someone sabotaging somebody doing the dirty, like Scooby-Doo-ish, or is it more, so as in there's a mystery to be solved, or is it a paranormal element? I think because he's written so many urban fantasies, you always feel like there should be some in there. And sometimes it's been kind of weird. So, and I've liked as I said, all three of the books. I don't own any of them. This is definitely a series I'm just getting through the library. I actually asked the library to buy it. And they were going to anyway, but I was like the first one to get it. So I need to get the book back to the library. So, and then I started a new manga series. Why are you jumping at me? Oh my gosh. This is The Haunted Bookstore, Gateway to a Parallel Universe. And the story is by Shino Bumaro. And the art is done by Meadow Mayaki, I think. So it's one of those ones where there's a novel, like light novels, I think. And then there is a manga. So, it is, again, I think the drawing in here is kind of weird. I think this person does noses really weird. The nose and the shadowing is weird, but the story is fine. This is about a young woman who is Kaori, I think is her name. And she was brought up in the spirit world. And so she knows all these spirits, that she's in this world. And one day, what is his name? Susume or something like that. He is another human who is found, and he has been injured. And so she takes him in. She works at this bookstore with her adopted father, again in the spirit world, so he's part of that. And the bookstore lends out books, and so there's stories about that. There's a 4-book series of manga. So anyway, I did read that. I actually should pull out the other ones because I did. Hold on. So I did go on through the week. I didn't read these all the same day, but I did read this one day, and then I read volume 2 and then volume 3, and then yesterday I picked up from the library volume 4. So that, as I said, that's the end of it. This was one of those series where I liked the concept. I liked the characters because there's a couple of things in here. Like book 2 was my favorite because of what happened in it. I think it was book 2. Yeah, because yeah, it was book 2. Book 2 had the highest rating for me. It was like a 3.5. The rest were all like 3s. They weren't great. Like, it wasn't like the best thing ever, but it was a short, sweet manga series. I didn't like the ending so much. I think it kind of whimpered out in the end. I think it was kind of weird who the bad guy was, and that kind of went, but you know, as I said, I'm glad I still read this, and I read it all very quickly. This did make me pick up a whole lot of first books in manga series again at my library yesterday. So maybe this week, or maybe on the weekend, next weekend, I might do a binge of a lot of manga of different first books and series that I got to try out that I've heard a lot about. Again, I think there's right now somebody's doing 30 manga volumes in 30 days. I'm not going to make that, but I did pick up some manga because I still like to read it every once in a while, and I picked that one up on a whim. Somebody mentioned it, and now I can't even think who. I really don't remember how I even knew to ask for those books, but I did, and I got them. Anyway. Okay. So anyway, I did read those kind of through the week. Oop. And then I did on Wednesday complete my buddy read with Burnett and Burnish Bookies Adventures. We started the Witch Lore series with Small Town Big Magic by Hazel Beck. So this is one of those, this is I would say an urban fantasy, and we are following Emerson, and she does not know or think anything about magic. She is very active in her community. She is in charge of the Chamber of Commerce common things. She owns a bookstore that her grandmother had passed down to her. And she pretty much lives with one of her best friends, and she has a really strong friend group. But she, you know, she's one of those go-getters, kind of like, take charge, let's get this done, let's do this for the community kind of thing. So she was kind of annoying, I will say that. But partway, you know, in the very beginning, she is sent to this area, kind of saying that something went wrong, and she is attacked, and that changes everything. She finds out magic exists, and then the book is the repercussions of finding out that she actually has magic, and found out that 10 years before her mind had been wiped of the memory of magic, because she technically didn't have magic at that time. Anyway, so this is pretty much Emerson's journey through that, and with her friends trying to decide why this other character attacked her, and what the consequences of finding out that she has magic now. And it was, I think what I liked about this the most was the world building, the way that because there are witches, and how it made this little small town on the river. I think it was in Missouri. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but I liked the setting, and I liked that, and I liked her friend group the most. Her friend group was great. Emerson, as I said, was one of those characters that she talked herself up a lot. She had a lot of confidence in a lot of things, and sometimes she had a little too much confidence when she should have been asking more questions. She just was very much a go-getter. So it's I think a personality clash with me. Anyway, but I did like, there was a slight romance in here, so there's that, which was really, I did like that, of how that went. And the book ends on a cliffhanger. So we will be reading book 2. That's the one book that was not at the library yet. I'm picking it up from the library and I'm going to listen to it on audio. This one I listened to an audio by Natalie Duke. So this is a series that I enjoyed this, but I didn't love it. So I'm not going to keep my copy, and I'm not going to buy the other ones. I'm going to get them from the library if we continue on. We're at least going to go to book 2, which is Big Little Spells. So, for next month. So anyway, as I said, I did like a lot of parts of this. It's just the main character, Emerson, was kind of annoying. So it just drove me crazy. And then I don't know why I just felt to pick this up, right. I think I started this Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. And I don't know why, after I finished my pages for my buddy read that day, I picked this up. But I did pick up The Red Sphinx by Alexandre Dumas. So I did read an 807-page book this week. It was on audio by John Lee. This is a translation. I have not read anything by. Again, they're translated from French. This is by Lawrence Ellsworth. So I have heard about his translations, but I read all the David Coward ones and really enjoyed the first 5 of the D'Artagnan romances. So my goal has always been to finish this series. And I adore the Three Musketeers. 20 years later, the Vicomte de Broglie, Louise, I can't remember how she said that last part goes. De Valliere, I think. And The Man in the Iron Mask. I love all those books. I did not like this book. Darn it. There were moments of shininess, like this is supposed to take place between, not too long after the Three Musketeers. And we're really following Richelieu, Cardinal Richelieu, who is, again, kind of the bad guy in the first book. And I really liked him in this. I think this was really an interesting exploration of historical fiction in this time, because the story itself takes place in the 1600s, I think. Again, and it was written in 1865 or around that. Around there. Anyway, and then and it was serialized, but it's not complete. So they say it's about 9/10 of it, but I don't know where we ended it. I don't know if that would have been close to the end or not. But they also have a short story that he wrote that's connected with some characters in here. The Comte de Moray, I think is what his name is. And his love, and they have The Dove is a short novella that is written epistolary that he wrote 15 years before this book was being published. So they think it's kind of like an ending. It kind of did end, so we got to see what happened to them, because you don't see that in The Red Sphinx, what happens to them, because I was a little confused where we lost what was going on between them. Anyway, there was problems. You definitely can tell that he didn't get to go back and redo anything because he didn't get it finished before he passed away. So The Dove I liked, but I didn't love. Again, The Red Sphinx, there was so much stuff about political stuff in this time period with Louis XIII and Anne of Austria and Mary de Venege, which was the Queen Mother. And then Richelieu is kind of mixed in with that and a lot of other people. And again, it was really like the Three Musketeers, but without all the good stuff. Except there was one certain part with Richelieu that I really, really enjoyed on him manipulating everybody to do what he wanted, kind of thing. But that was so classic Richelieu that it worked for me. And that was like in the middle. And then I just kept listening to the audiobook, just wanting it to be done. I'm really, really disappointed in this. I really did not enjoy this overall. I mean, I gave it a 3 because there were shining moments, but really, it was really kind of boring. It was really a historical fiction on that time frame. Very political, French politics, and the wars and things that they got involved in, and their politics within the court and without, kind of thing. So Anyway, I did read it though. So I will now be able to continue on and read some more of his other books. Alexander Dumas is definitely one of my favorite authors just for the D'Artagnan romances, the original 5. I just this book just didn't do it for me. I'm really disappointed. And it's not the translation, even if this is a different translation than the ones I've listened to in the past. I just didn't, it was just the subject matter, so, anyway, let's see here. Sorry, hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. My brother was bringing me something from the grocery store because I didn't want to go grocery shopping today. So I had to go get that. Anyway, so the next book I picked up, I was reading this physically during the week when I wasn't reading the manga. I also read the second book in the Sleeping Beauty trilogy by Anne Rice. This is Beauty's Punishment. So these are very much erotic reimaginings of Sleeping Beauty. The first book, The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty, definitely sets that up, where Sleeping Beauty is woken up by the prince, but he tells her she is going to be pretty much a pleasure slave for a time period, because all the kingdoms send their princes and princesses to this other kingdom, kind of as tribute kind of thing, and they stay there for whatever their allotted time is. And these are very erotic, but it's like a play on the fairy tale and, things that happen. Anyway, they're just fun. Like, overall, I read these over 20 years ago when I first got them, when I was much younger. And then I lost my copies because somebody borrowed them. So I had rebought these a few years ago, and I've been meaning to reread because Anne Rice did come out with a 4th book, Beauty's Kingdom, that I've never read. But I knew that I couldn't read that until I'd read the other books. So I decided this year I wanted to reread at least the books that I'd read, the trilogy, and then hopefully get to the 4th book. So anyway, I did read book 2. I read the other book a couple of months ago, I think, the first book. I remember the first and second book really well for some reason. I think I must have reread those ones. I don't know. But I do remember this one. This is when something happens and she is sent to the village, and her things that happen there. And as I said, this is very much not for everybody. This is very much on the erotic side. They're all very much master-slave kind of stereotypes. These are written in the 80s. Also be aware of that. But I think it's very open on everybody getting involved. And there's a lot of non-consent kind of things. But that's kind of the way the world is set up. So anyway, I did finish that yesterday. And then I went right into book 3. So I am about 90 pages from the end of Beauty's Release, which again is the end of the trilogy. So I do plan to finish this today. We'll see how I feel after I finish this, if I go right into Beauty's Kingdom. I didn't bring that in here. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to wait till November to read that, give it a little space. But for some reason yesterday, this just called me, so I just continued right on, because it kind of ends kind of on a cliffhanger on the second book to this book. They all do kind of thing. So anyway, so this one is Beauty's continuing adventure with some of the other princes and princesses, and they are captured and things happen. Anyway, so again, as I said, I am about 90 pages from the end, so I will finish this later today. So anyway, so that's one of the books I'm in the middle of. Then I have a couple of audiobooks I'm in the middle of. Well, let's do this one first. Hold on. I need to do this. So I did pick up Kingdom of the Feared by Carrie Maniscalco. This is book 3 in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. So I got the audiobook from the library. I have 2 days left of it. Oh, this series has been so up and down for me. I really was surprised about the first book. Again, this is, I guess I would classify it as fantasy romance. So the first book, The Kingdom of the Wicked, we are following Emilia, and her twin sister is killed, and she is out for revenge, and she summons one of the wicked, and it turns out to be Wrath, and he is one of the princes of hell. and it's them trying to figure out what happened to her sister. And it twists and turns really well. I really liked the first book. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed the first book. And then the second book, Kingdom of the Curse, again, good twist going into the cliffhanger from the first book into the second. I wanted to pick it up, so when I did, problem is I kind of stalled out partway through it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to continue this, but I finally did and pushed through. It took a little bit, but I finally did. And then the third one, it's doing kind of the same thing where there's something there. Again, we're continuing their adventures and things are happening. There's a lot of reveals, but there's also a lot of twists where I'm like, why are we going in this direction? Why is she choosing to do this? And I don't understand what is happening, and she chooses to do this. And then again, there's consequences for those decisions. And I don't always trust her decisions. Anyway, so I'm at 257 pages out of 401. So I have like just under 150 pages left. I have the audiobook for 2 more days. So I think I'm going to listen to this at work tomorrow if I have a chance. I mean, I should, but this will be my first priority to get this done. I am not sure I'm going to continue to the next series, which is, I don't remember if that's The Princess of Sin, or the first book is Throne of the Fallen, which I own. And I bought that on a whim before I bought these books because I didn't know they were that connected. I thought it was just her first adult novel. And turned out it was connected to this series, which now I'm glad I read these if I do continue, because some of the characters in here are going to be in those ones. But now I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about Throne of the Fallen, because I'm not getting along with this right now. And again, I'm pretty far into this book, and I had to set it down on Friday. I got pretty far, and then I was just like, I can't do any more today. And this is a series that kind of goes from young adult to new adult. Like it kind of progresses because of things that happen in the story. And I would more classify probably the series as new adult, even if the first book kind of starts out new adult or young adult. I would more classify it that way, but you know, whatever. I mean, like, I'm enjoying these, but I'm not going to keep these books when I'm done. And I said, if I can get through this, then I will continue to Throne of the Fallen later this year. I'm hoping to do it before the end of the year to make a decision on that series. But this is a series, again, I picked up this year that kind of on a whim, and it's been a kind of hit and miss. So we'll see how this goes. As I said, I still think this is going to go a certain way, or, you know, is going to wrap up well, but I don't know. This is audiobook is done by Marissa Cullen. And I like the audio production of this. There's sometimes a little music in the suspenseful parts, but anyway, I don't know. There's something about that. Anyway, but I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow, because I only have, I think, 2.5 hours left on the audio, I think. Something like that. I'm not positive. And then, but because I couldn't make myself finish, I couldn't finish it on Saturday, Friday. So I had to change books, and I was like, well, what do I want to listen to? And I decided I'm going to go back to my, JT, Geisinger. I'm going to say that. That's what the audiobook says. It's just going to take me a while to remember that. But I picked up Beautifully Cruel, which is another one of her sub-series that is like part of the Mafia part of it. So again, I read Queens and Monsters, which was a later series. And so I've gone back and read a couple of series that do connect to this one. There's even farther ones back that are not Mafia. They might be dark romance, because these are dark Mafia overall. There's some things that are bad happen in here. This one's just been kind of fun so far. I mean, there was a brutal part in it, so there is violence in these. There's Mafia. And we're following True, who is working in Boston, and she is trying to get her get ready for she's to become a lawyer. So she's finishing her schooling and is just about to go for the bar and stuff like that. And she works in this cafe, And this one guy keeps coming the last like 11 months. He keeps, every once in a while, he'll just pop up and get a coffee and just stare at her pretty much. And so, and they have kind of an interaction finally. And then he says, oh, he's not coming back or whatever. And then he comes back one more time and then he leaves. And then she is attacked and he saves her. And then, so their lives kind of get meshed together. So again, things are happening right now, which are definitely more not on the, it's kind of a more non-consent part, but it's not like sexually non-consent, like non-consent of where she's at. But again, I like J.T. Gessinger's writing. I love the banter between the characters. I like getting the male and female dual narration, which is done by, or this one's actually a duet narration, which is Troy Duran and Marnie Young. And so far it's been really good. And I already have the second book ready to go, Cruel Paradise, if I want to continue on right away, but probably not this week. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe later in the week. Because I do have some Libby holes I need to read, but I've got these through Audible. So anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying reading all of her books pretty much. I mean, not all of them have been super hits, but they've all been fun. They're just a fun time. So I still have a couple series that are even farther back in her backlist that I need to get to. I'm not sure I'm going to get to it in time for when I lose Kindle Unlimited. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I do want to get to those. So, but that is the two audiobooks that I'm listening to right now. And then I do still have Feast of Sparks by Sierra Simone that I need to get back to. This is book 2 in the Thornchapel series. So I'm not going to say much here because I didn't pick it up at all. I'm still at 104 pages. I do want to read this. I just, because this is kind of a mysterious atmosphere at this Thornchapel where these young adults are like, they're in their early to mid 20s, and 12 years before they all met as children, and some weird things happened while they were together, and then now they're back together at this Thornchapel for different reasons, and their parents were doing something when they all met when they were kids, and there's repercussions from that, and revelations from the end of this book. This is again one of those books where I'm not really sure all the tropes and things are happening because it's very highly erotic. I would say it's very, very spicy because these are all young people who are exploring their sexuality. And but there's also this mystery element of this space and what were their parents doing, and are they following in their footsteps? Are they deviating? We're not quite sure. Again, it's a 4-book series. I have no idea where this story is going. And I do want to get back to this. I just don't know if this is going to be, if I'll come back to it this week. I'm hoping, as I said, I will finish this at some point. I'm not sure I'm in the mood for this. I have so many books I want to read, but we'll see what happens. But that is that. And then the only book I'm going to mention that I'm going to start, I'm going to start The Inheritance by Ilona Andrews today. I'm going to read the first 92 pages in it today. First 5 chapters, I think, with Tia at Genres and Journals. So we have read every Ilona Andrews books together. And this is their newest release. It's in a new series called what is that series called? Breach Wars. So I don't know a lot about this. I'm going into it really, really blind. I just know that there's it's kind of sci-fi fantasy maybe. And I know that she is going somewhere with this dog, and that's about all I know. It's something to do with something happened in the past. And then she is, she's called a talent, and something happened 10 years ago, and then something about dimension gates, and so I don't know anything. And so Tia and I are going to go into this today. So after I'm done with everything, I will be reading this afternoon, probably before I go back to my other reads. But I'm really looking forward to, and I hit myself with the book, sorry about that. I'm really looking forward to another Ilona Andrews book. I don't know when we'll ever get the second book to the series because of their writing schedule. But I'm excited to read their newest book. So that is all of it. I know it was really long. I did read a lot of stuff this week, and I'm in the middle of a lot of stuff. So we'll see how this goes. I have a couple other holds from Libby. I'm trying to clear those out. I did DNF a few other books that I didn't talk about, but I DNF'd them before, or I tried them and I said, no, that's not for me. But they weren't quite the same as how I felt about First Down, which is why I brought that one up. But as I said, I'm just trying to clear out. Because again, next month my reading is going to be a little different because of Victober and a lot of spooky reads. I try to do a mix. I don't know how this is going to go. But anyway, this last week I'm hoping to clear out some of the holds that I have from Libby. I don't have that many. I have a couple more left I'd like to hit before the end of the month. And I still need to read my last book for Shelf by Shelf. Hoping to get to that also this week, but we will see. But I can't tell you what that is because that would be a spoiler. So anyway, again, my two TBR videos will be up this week. One on Tuesday, the Victober one, and then all the other reads I want to get to in October, which again, they're both insane lists. But as you know, I usually mood read through the month, and I also read about half of what I tell you guys I'm going to read. The other half is always other books that I didn't even know I was going to pick up. So you just don't know what I'll pick up in October. Anyway, but that's still far out, but those videos will be coming this week. So anyway, I hope you guys are having some good readings. Let me know what you guys are doing, what you're reading right now, what's really good for you. I have only pre-orders this month. I have not bought any extra books. The only problem is on Thursday is a library book sale. So I might be buying a few books on Thursday. I'm going to try to be very, what do you call it? I'm going to try not to buy too many. Selective is the word I was looking for. I'm going to try to be selective. We'll see what happens. But I've been really good this month. But I might break it on Thursday because I am going to go to a library book sale. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.